In case you haven't heard the news yet, you are about to embark on one of the most startling events in the history of reality TV and pawn shops. Rick Harrison's story has taken a sudden and dramatic turn. Watch this film through to the end, because you don't want to miss anything, and every little detail counts. An era came to an end when Rick Harrison, the face of a well-known pawn shop and one of the stars of a well-known TV show, was sentenced to death. Despite Harrison's established reputation as a shrewd businessman who loved history and collecting, the court's ruling has shocked the entertainment industry. Now, admirers everywhere are forced to wonder how a guy who exuded assurance and wisdom could have received such a severe sentence. It's difficult to comprehend how someone who taught millions of people about rare goods and negotiation techniques could end up in legal hot water. However, there are rumors that Harrison's problems had been getting worse for a while. Rumors of financial mismanagement, tax issues, and illicit pawn business dealings were the first signs of trouble. Even admirers of his abilities were unable to deny the mounting suspicion that things behind the scenes were not as flawless as they appeared. Rick Harrison was admired for his charm, integrity, and direct style in the early days of the television program. In a world where every transaction might be kept a secret, he was seen as a rock of confidence. But, as time passed, an increasing amount of data became available. Investigations revealed signs of potential fraud in the store's transactions, and some even questioned whether there were more factors at work than clever business tactics. Additionally, accusations of money laundering and tax evasion were made. Although the specifics were first ambiguous, it became evident as the evidence mounted that the judicial system had to react. The viewers of the television program believe that this news is about a legacy that has impacted the lives of several people, not just one man. Rick Harrison's storytelling abilities brought history to life with each piece he collected. He was more than just an entrepreneur. He was a crowd favorite because of his ability to make even the most complex transactions simple, and his excellent sense of humor. Now that his last sentence has been handed down, the show's and the pawn shop's futures are at stake. It is difficult to describe the shock that has reverberated throughout the entertainment business. The store was considered a safe haven for many years, where commerce and history coexisted and the past and present were handled with equal dignity. Now that one of its important leaders has left, there are concerns about what may happen. Will Rick Harrison's steadfast leadership compel the shop to change, or will it carry on as it always has? Many people think that Chumley and Corey Harrison, two of his family members, would attempt to continue the company. But without Rick's guidance, things could go wrong. People all throughout the world are currently glued to their screens, attempting to piece together the sequence of events that culminated in this momentous day. The plot takes several unexpected twists, and as more information is disclosed, it becomes evident that there may have been far more going on behind closed doors than anyone could have ever guessed. Discussions concerning what will happen to the television program that introduced Rick Harrison into our homes have also been triggered by the finality of his sentence. While some fans are optimistic that an appeal could change the course of events, others feel that this is the end of an era and that a man who once stood for knowledge and trust is gone forever. It is essential for spectators to comprehend that the plot of this movie is always changing. Despite the fact that the punishment is final, many questions remain. Was the government compelled to step in by outside forces, or was this the product of years of contempt for corporate practices? How will the pawn shop and the television program that millions of people grew up watching fare in the future? Finding the answers can take some time, and they might entail more emotional and legal turmoil than anyone could have anticipated. Think about how one individual may affect a whole industry as you watch this film with us. Rick Harrison's path serves as a reminder that there are frequently unspoken obstacles to success, and that the real world can occasionally be considerably more complex than what is portrayed on television. His dying serves as a tragic reminder that even the most well-respected people make mistakes, and that making accusations of financial misconduct and mismanagement public can have disastrous results. In addition to recounting the emotional struggles of a single man, Rick Harrison's story offers insight into the fundamentals of the pawn industry. Pawn shops have revitalized objects with fascinating histories for decades, whether it's a rare coin, an old-fashioned watch, or a piece of history with a special story to tell. These are locations where people can establish a connection with the past. However, everything that came before it is significantly impacted. When the foundation of trust is compromised, as it has been in this instance, Rick Harrison pushed for honesty in the pawnshop industry during his time there. Every transaction demonstrated his profound knowledge of history, and his cool head and sharp sense of humor made him a trustworthy counselor. But now that his legal issues have grown out of control, the legacy he has accumulated over the years is being called into question. The sobering truth that even icons may lose their appeal is now being faced by fans who once believed he was an unstoppable force. We'll examine every aspect of this developing drama in this video. We'll look at the supporting evidence for the last line, consider any potential errors made by the pawnshop's management, and talk about the implications for the company's and the TV show's future. We will also discuss the public's and fans' reactions, as many are struggling to understand the news and its implications for the reality TV industry. Keep in mind that in this story, every detail counts. This story depicts the highs and lows of a life in the spotlight, from the earliest signs of problems to the pivotal court appearance. As we dissect the chronology and examine the supporting documentation, it becomes evident that this is a multifaceted, intricate story rather than merely a straightforward legal matter. To see the full picture, we strongly recommend watching this film through to the finish. You can better grasp the seriousness of the problem and how it will affect all parties by reading through interviews, behind-the-scenes images, and professional comments. It's a good idea to consider how unanticipated issues and concealed defects might cause even the best-laid plans to fall apart. To sum up Rick Harrison's last words, mark a sea change that will alter the trajectory of a renowned career and the history of a cherished television show. There is more to it than a judicial ruling. Consider the lessons this film imparts on trust, accountability, and the unpredictability of life in the spotlight while you watch it. We are only beginning this voyage into one of the most dramatic stories in recent history, so be sure to return often. We appreciate your time, and if you would want to see every aspect of this unexpected and poignant story, please watch the entire film.